Hi, everybody. It's Gene Simmons, and you're not, and you're listening to the Potter Than Hell podcast with Steve, BC, BB, and Dylan. But you knew that, didn't you?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Potter Than Hell podcast. This is your last stop on the crazy train of hard rock and heavy metal. So sit back, buckle in, and hang on. Here we go.
Hey, you Potter Than Hellions out there. Welcome to the Potter Than Hell podcast. This is Steve, your host. I'm joined as always by
BC
and
BB.
And our keyboard player tonight is
Dylan.
And what's up, guys? Hope you guys have had a good week and been checking out our show. And here we are for another cool show. Something I think Dylan's idea for this show was, and I think it's really cool. And it's an area not really delved into very much with the band that we're going to be talking about, which I'll reveal that in a couple minutes. Before we get going, a couple news items. What do you guys think? New Striper album coming out in April.
I love it. They've been putting out some, to me, their best stuff lately.
I agree.
Yeah. I mean, they just released the album cover of the new album, and there's a lot of people crying out there already. So it's like,
well, what are they crying about?
they're crying about like there's like hookers on the cover and 666, I guess. And it's an album cover. Relax, people.
Fucking go out and buy new music. Don't worry about the album
music,
cover.
God damn it.
See, now it's going to be,
boy.
they'll be listening with their eyes. Like they say that, they mentioned that about a few Kiss albums. There you go.
I mean, people aren't happy unless they're bitching, so
Exactly.
Yeah.
let them bitch. We'll buy the new music, and we'll let them bitch, moan, and complain about it.
We go see them play the new live music.
Yeah, but like you said, like the last couple albums, they've been putting up some really good stuff. They're really clicking now, and it's a great time.
And Michael's sweet as an animal.
He sounds.
I mean, his voice
good,
is.
if not better,
I think his
than
voice is
the
getting
80s.
better as time goes on. Now he's doing Striper. He does his own acoustic shows. He's doing Sweet Lynch.
Yeah.
Right, so he's busy. So his voice right now is top notch.
If any of the songs are as good as like Yahweh, off of I think it was their most recent album.
Fallen.
Yeah. Like that song is phenomenal. So if they continue that kind of energy, and I'm sure they will. The album's gonna be great.
He is. He's in top shape. Next thing, I guess that's been sort of officially announced that Axl will be double timing. Not double teaming, BB. Not double teaming.
Darn
double
it.
timing
He's
with
a
AC/DC
Yeah.
and Guns N' Roses. Thoughts? I want BC to go first.
Oh Jesus! I mean, hey,
BC's all pumped up.
we
today.
talked about Guns N' Roses. I mean, it might as well just be Axl Rose because it's not a reunion without the original five guys in my book. I'm sorry, people that don't agree with that. I'm all for them playing music. That's nice. And I don't know, him being in AC/DC, I'm sorry. I mean, AC/DC is such an iconic band. The only guy left is Angus. Like, if you look at it, like, come on, man. You're beating it in the ground. I'm sorry.
I know.
They're just out. I think they're just out to make money now. But I would love to see them actually, with Axl to put out an actual CD, put out some music. Let's, like I've said several times, like with the Motley Crue album, with the Quiet Riot. As long as you're not a big, humongous, diehard fan of the band, and you're so emotional on who's playing in it, if you just sit down, plug your headphones in, and listen to it, if it kicks your ass, that's awesome. That's how I, that's how I feel. It's good.
I agree with that part, but carry it on as AC/DC. Call yourself something different.
I just want to personally see how different the music's going to be, because AC/DC is not the style of Guns N' Roses.
No.
And, Axl's a big part of the writing of Guns N' Roses. And so I don't know how that's going to mesh. I don't know. Yeah. It's going to be interesting. I'm not discounting it. Like I said on another episode, that one good thing about Axl being there is that he's having them dig a little deeper into their catalog, doing some different songs that I talked about before, and it's just going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting, and what's even going to be more interesting, I think, is which one's going to be out first. Are we going to see new AC/DC stuff with Axl first, or are we going to see new Guns N' Roses stuff with Axl first? I think that's the main thing that's going to be, because I think Guns N' Roses have some more dates to do on the last leg of their tour. I think in the summer, someone said
they're going to be released on the same date.
So, could be, you know,
the Axl Rose box set.
So we'll definitely check that out. And so we're talking about tours a little bit. Ozzy announced the No More Tours Tour 2. I guess that's what it's called. And
I've seen a trend here.
Yeah, he's got Zach, Bearded Zach.
The Bearded Zach is back.
Bearded Zach.
Blasco on bass. Tommy Clufetto's on drums. Which, Sabbath ends and, hey, this dude still got a job, which he is an absolute fucking monster drummer. Just phenomenal. Which was weird that they didn't use him for the Black Sabbath 13 album, but he toured with them. I don't know, that was kind of weird, I think. But
once again, Ozzy sending out some emails to these big, humongous guys, and he's got a great backing band now. Once again, people just flock to him. You know, we'll see how this tour goes. You know, hopefully his voice kind of holds up. But the last time we saw him, he really did well with his vocals.
Yeah, I mean, Ozzy's always surrounded himself with talent. That's just something that no matter what you think of the guy, he's always had pretty good taste in his backing band. And I think this is a really good band to go out with if this is actually the last tour, which I'm pretty sure it's probably going to be because Ozzy's getting up there. But, I mean, Zakk Wylde, one of the probably his most signature guitarists that's still alive. Tommy Clufetos, who could play basically anything. And Blasco, who's a solid bassist. I think that's a perfect lineup to end a career with.
I think he's going to keep going. I don't know.
You're going to take him out in a body bag. Huh?
I'm serious. I don't know. I mean, he's got a great band now. If this tour goes good, you're going to see another tour.
Right, like the Scorpions.
Mark my words, damn it.
Scorpions were going to be
the body
done.
bag tour.
The body bag.
Well, Scorpions played M3, I want to say probably at least 7 years ago. At least they were maybe the third year, so this is the 10th. So I'm going to say maybe 7 years ago.
It was a while.
And that was their final tour at the time. And so, you know, we'll see.
But nobody in the Scorpions has more drugs in their system than blood at this point. So,
no.
It's I think it's different circumstances. Ozzy's on
they
borrowed
could
time.
Pretty much string a sentence together too.
That's what I mean. Like,
yeah, but Ozzy was supposed to be dead like 30 years ago. So.
But that's what I mean. Like, it's at this point where you're waiting for Keith Richards and you're waiting for Ozzy to drop dead at any moment. If you see it on the news, you're going to be like, okay, that
knew that was coming.
Me.
But it's funny, now that Ozzy's sober and Zach's sober, what the fuck are they going to do? They're not going to throw TVs out of the 12-story hotel floor.
The coffee pots are going out the window.
Let me see your
They're going to watch...
Let me see your Mr. Coffee Maker.
They're going to watch Blasco and Tommy do it. They're gonna
Sharon, where's the Keurig?
I don't have my K-cup, Sharon.
Where's the cup, Sharon?
Where's the cake?
I put the fucking cuppy cups in there and made some coffee. Damn it.
All right, so we're looking forward to it. One of the first shows is near us in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Hopefully, we'll be attending that, and we'll give a review here on the show. And let's get into our topic this week. Dylan had an idea. It was you, right? Was it you?
I'd like to take credit for it. Sure.
All right.
I think it was.
You can believe it was,
even though I think it was really me, but that's all right.
Well,
no, it was Dylan's idea. We're going to talk about Iron Maiden in the 2000s. Like, you don't hear a lot of accolades. I mean, they're still the biggest touring metal band in the world, and but you hear all you hear about is Number of the Beast and Peace of Mind, and I mean, and believe me, they are phenomenal and classic. But since 2000, when Bruce came back into the band, they just have a phenomenal fucking catalog, and we'll give a little bit of background on that. 1990. Adrian Smith leaves the band. Yannick Garris comes in, and Yannick played on Bruce's solo album Tattooed Millionaire, so he kind of just folded him into Maiden when he left. In 1993, Bruce leaves for his solo stuff. Him and Steve Harris weren't getting along. The last show that he played was that Raising Hell show with that I don't know. I don't even know if you'd call the guy a magician or whatever. That's Simon something.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like where they were doing like those like
the horror things and stuff. And that was, and I guess after that show, Bruce just like fucking walked home. I guess it was from walking distance from his.
I'm out of here.
From his house. The show was over, and he.
Look at that, fucking Bruce did it. You say it all the time.
I keep trying to do it. Bruce actually did it. See?
Yep.
I've got to take a piss.
Yep. And so then, in Usher's BC's favorite period of Iron Maiden, the Blaze Bailey period.
Oh yeah.
Big champion for that.
And I mean, we've beat up Blaze Bailey quite a bit on this show. I think rightfully he was not a good fit. I think for Iron Maiden at all. Voice wise, and then they toured for both albums, but I guess both tours they had to cancel shows because he was having vocal problems. And then Yannick Gears said he was forced to sing songs out of his vocal range.
Well, what the fuck you doing in Iron Maiden then? You know what I mean?
I mean, if you're only singing the songs from the X Factor or Virtual 11, fine, they're in your vocal range because you sang them. But like you're joining the band that Bruce Dickinson sang, and like I don't know what they expected from the guy.
You should have pulled a Paul Stanley and just tried to sing them anyways, and not did well.
Okay, but like seriously. So then Blaze is asked to leave the band, and Bruce comes back, brings Adrian with him, and begins the new era. They 1999 they got back together. They toured. The Ed Hunter game was coming out. They had like a 2-disc greatest hits type thing with that, and then it had the video game in there, which I played the video game. It was actually pretty cool. Did you ever play that, PC?
I have not.
BB?
I have not.
No,
No,
it's
I don't
actually
think
pretty
so.
cool. I guess it's pretty expensive now if you find it out there, but I don't even know if it would actually even play on a computer now.
I was gonna say
It's like
Probably need like old Windows.
fucking
9.
old, yeah. Dust off the old computer that see if
it
you
was
go to
just
the,
for a computer, right?
Get your
Yeah,
dial
yeah.
going.
It wasn't like a PlayStation game or anything like that. Which would be cool if they could somehow bring that
Like
back,
like a remaster.
a remaster of it, and like have it for like PlayStation
Yeah.
or
Well, they-
Xbox or something. That would be cool.
They released a game for Final Frontier, right? Wasn't there like a tie-in game with that?
I don't know if it was
Mission
that.
2.
I don't
Rescue
know. We'll
and
have to look.
Revenge.
It sounds
We'll have
familiar.
to look. That I'm not really familiar with. But anyway, so they do it. They do kind of a whirlwind tour, and it was actually kind of cool. They played a couple of Blaze Bailey era songs. They did the Klansman, Future Real, and actually one of my favorite songs. I think it was probably one of the best songs that was on any of the Blaze Bailey stuff was "Man on the Edge," which is written about the movie Falling Down with Michael Douglas. Fucking great movie. I think the song is great, and Bruce just like kills the shit out of that song. He just fucking sings it so great. And then boom, they go in the studio and they record Brave New World. Guys, Brave New World. What do you think, BC?
Like I said, when I heard that Bruce and Adrian were coming back, of course you're like, yes. And it was kind of a
fucking time.
And it was cool that they left Janet in the band. Instead of, okay, you're out. You know what I mean? Like every other band does when the original guy comes back. Okay, you're out. They kept them in the band, and I think
it works.
It works.
It works great. And there's a lot of songs that I think it makes it sound so much fuller. If you listen to Live in the Donington live CD that's out, and then you listen to some of the same songs like on say like Rock in Rio or Death on the Road, it has that much more full of a sound because you have the two guitars in the background and then who's ever playing lead at the time. Just fucking absolutely phenomenal. And I thought the album was great. It came out May 29th of 2000, and it was the first album that they recorded with Kevin Shirley, who we know is a fantastic producer. He's produced Rush. He produced my my current favorite band that I'm listening to, Black Country Community. He's done all their albums, and great producer. I think he got a lot out of those guys, and I think it was better too because it set Steve Harris back, that he got to I'm sure he had his hands in there somehow, but there was someone else at the helm other than him. What do you think, BB?
Yeah, like you said, Kevin Shirley, what a great producer, and Steve Harris also did it, but like you said, he probably took a little bit off his shoulders and let him actually do a little bit more playing, a little bit more writing with some of these songs. Great album. I'm glad Bruce came back at this time because it seems like his voice it sounds phenomenal at this period. These next couple albums is probably vocally, for me, my favorite sounding vocals for Bruce coming back into the band than some of the earlier stuff. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's his tone. It's hard to explain. It's almost like there's certain parts of Paul Stanley's voice, like in the 80s.
It could even just be the production,
boom,
too.
And it just sounds phenomenal.
Seem to get a better sound out of him in the studio. Plus, you got to figure the last album that Bruce did with them was like 7 years before that. Yeah. So whatever advancements in microphones or recording stuff, I'm sure is a lot better than it was. Leaps and bounds, I'm sure, from the 90s to the early 2000s. But I mean, it's a great album. And apparently, Adrian Smith said the Nomad, Dream of Mirrors, and the Mercenary were actually stuff that were written for Virtue 11 with BC's buddy Blaze Bailey.
But Blaze couldn't sing those high notes.
And apparently Blaze Bailey wrote some of the lyrics to Dream of Mirrors, but he wasn't credited. So maybe he'll pull a Vinnie Vincent and sue those guys for rights or whatever. Every time someone plays Dream of Mirrors on either Rock in Rio or Brave New World, maybe Blaze Bailey will get like 3 cents every time someone plays it. And actually, on this album, it brings back another guy that we haven't heard of in the Iron Maiden camp for a long time, Derek Riggs, the original guy that drew all the classic Iron Maiden albums. He did the Eddie in the Clouds on the front of the album, which I guess the city part Steve Harris designed on a computer or something. I don't know the fuck.
No, that was from was it like a picture of some kind? I think he took that from that, maybe touched it up a little bit. I thought I saw something.
He might have gave it the more futuristic type of look to it.
Yeah, because it kind of looks like that bridge in England.
It's London. It's a picture of London,
but very.
But updated but like the cover's very cool. The cover's fucking excellent, and it was good, and it kind of gave it that feel like you're like, yes, Maiden's back, and I remember I actually picked that up in Walmart. I wasn't sure of the date that it was coming out, and I went there after work one morning, and I just walked in. I'm like, holy fuck, there's the new Iron Maiden album. So I picked it up, and I literally. I don't even know why, maybe I thought I might have wrecked the car or something like that, but I literally put it in the CD player. Yes, vehicles had CD players back then. I didn't leave the parking lot till the whole fucking album played. And I'm sitting there going, holy shit, I just sat here for like over a fucking hour listening to this, but it went by, it was just fucking excellent.
Yeah, that bottom part is digital artist Steve Stone.
Oh, okay. I must have looked that up. All right. Thanks, BC. Wow. Fun facts with BC.
God damn it,
holy
come on.
cow,
wow,
BC.
Holy shit.
Thanks for coming.
I remember...
tip your bartender.
I heard that. Or just tip me.
Or tip you. All right. Yeah.
I mean, Brave New World is the first Maiden album that I have like a genuine memory of hearing because you were playing it nonstop when it came out. I know that you were excited about Bruce coming back. And that's something that I think Carson, my brother, and I would listen to a lot. Like we both had them on our MP3 players before.
You kept thinking there was a surprise party for someone named Bruce because there was Bruce signs over your house.
Yeah, I was expecting him to come over.
Welcome back, Bruce.
I don't think any of them are named Bruce that I know. But like the Mercenary is a really awesome, underrated track on this album. I think the Wicker Man is a really great reintroduction to both Adrian and Bruce because it has that really kick-ass intro riff that comes in with the drums, and then Bruce's vocals, like BB said, are so on point on this album. And then it goes right into Ghost of Navigator, which I think is also another amazing song. And the cool thing about these albums and this album and like the albums to come, they all feel like they belong on the same album, even though some of them might have been written during Virtual 11. They all feel cohesive and that they belong together.
They fit the time of the album.
Yeah.
Because Bruce is back.
And I told you so.
I told you so.
And I think the song, I don't know why, but The Fallen Angel.
Mm-hmm.
That is a fantastic
song, and for some reason, I see in my head King Diamond singing that song. I don't know why. I don't know if it's both pitches of their high-pitched voice.
I'm gonna have to listen to that and think of that. I never thought of that. Yeah. I personally love absolutely. Did I say love? Ghost of the Navigator. I fucking love that song. And the Mercenary. When they, we'll talk about Rock in Rio in a couple of minutes, but I'll talk about that then. But like, I love the Nomad. I've always liked the the epic Maiden songs. I love them. Some people are like, oh, they're too long, blah 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 blah, whatever. But like I just love the keyboard part in that, and the long like driving part, and it actually it kind of reminds me of like To Tame a Land Part 2. That is from, Peace of Mind, the best Iron Maiden album out there. I'm just going to throw that in there. But I mean, it's great. I mean, they're pretty much the highlights. But I got to say, the two songs that I think really kind of don't get talked about a lot are Out of the Silent Planet and Thin Line Between Love and Hate. Yeah. They're good goddamn songs. They're fucking excellent.
Out of the Silent Planet, that was one of the singles that were released. Yes. Believe it or not.
But they never played it live.
No.
They didn't play it live.
But they released it as a single. So that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's kind of a compilation of stuff, live video clips from Rock in Rio. But it's weird though. They didn't play it live.
Didn't play it live. Released it as a single. But
no, I have a question, and I think I'm going to ask it now because I don't know. Because I tried to find the answer. Why? In the olden Iron Maidens, see, I don't know what. Let's see, Virtue 11 is before this, so I don't know what the album cover. What happened to these extended, like R in the end is extended, the M in the N?
They changed the logo for X Factor,
and then they brought back the original logo for Final Frontier.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. They I don't know if they just want if it's streamlined, but they did change it for those. It was for all those albums up until Final Frontier. Huh. They brought it back. Right. But it is different. And there's people probably going to be listening to this going, I never noticed that.
It's subtle, but
right. I just didn't know when to ask it because I noticed them.
Yeah. Well, when the 90s came around, they became an extreme band with the X Factor, and they got to change the font type to make
we're just gonna go
grittier,
flat.
darker.
Yeah. I'll give you that. X Factor was darker.
Probably one of the worst album covers.
Oh, it's horrible. It's horrible.
Although I do have a bone to pick with one of the album covers coming up, but
okay. So do I actually.
Yeah, I think you know which.
So do I.
I think we agree on that.
Yeah. So they tour for that album. BC and I were able to see them on that tour. They play. They actually played in fucking Scranton, which is like, holy fuck. They played with Halford and Queensryche, right?
Was it Megadeth?
Yeah.
Megadeth.
No.
What do you say?
No.
You're wrong.
No. Everything blends
You're
together.
thinking Motley Crue.
Good days.
Motley Crue and Megadeth played down there.
Yeah. Everything blends together.
Come on, have another beer. Come on.
Who opened up for?
Rob Halford.
Was it Halford?
It was Halford and it was Queensryche. Yeah, because remember it was Kelly Gray and he had this.
Was that the Promised Land?
No.
Was that the Hooded?
No, that was Mike Stone.
We're all over the place tonight.
But it was.
But I remember the Walking Wicker Man.
30-some years, it gets like Jello together after.
But I mean, it was a great show. We were maybe 20 rows back. We had a couple problems with that took place during the show with people that were with us. We won't say what it was because it's
damn funny.
It's fucked up, but it's funny. And but it was a great show. And what people don't realize is. People that didn't see them on that tour, but they've seen the Rock in Rio DVD is during Sign of the Cross in the beginning, Bruce comes up on a cross from behind the stage. But you don't see that in Rock in Rio because they didn't use that in South America because of they're really religious down there or whatever. But it was a fantastic set. Open up with Wicker Man, then Ghost the Navigator. I don't know. Brave New World and Blood Brothers, I like them, but I don't really like them live.
They're a little too trudging.
I don't know. I don't know.
Blood Brothers is too blood. I know what you mean. I mean,
it's a really good crowd sing along.
Yeah.
Because you feel like you're blood brothers with the band.
I know. But, and they did the Mercenary, and what I was going to say about that, I wish that they did the Fallen Angel instead of of the Mercenary live. I think that would have because I think it's like a more rockin' of a riff. I mean, the Mercenary is good, but I think that would have fit even better. Dream of Mirrors, Klansman, and I'll tell you what, I have to say that they did the Evil That Men Do. I always hated that song. I don't know why. Because Seventh Son was always one of my way back on the list of Maiden albums. But then after I saw them do that live, I absolutely loved that song. But I mean, just a great show.
Yeah, first I don't know why. Did we see them somewhere else? I don't know why I remember.
No, not for that tour.
See, I don't know.
Because it was
I remember,
me, BC, my brother, and Rob.
I don't know, maybe it's something I saw. I remember Eddie was a big, humongous Eddie made out of wicker, and he walked across the stage.
You must have dreamed that, because I don't think that ever was a thing.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Your wildest dreams.
There's a single that shows like the Wicker Man burning, but there was a big big Wicker Man came up from behind the stage, and it had the girls in it and stuff at the end. But there was no actual Wicker Man.
Must have
Eddie
been drinking that day. I don't now.
I guess so.
Now I don't know what the fuck's going on in my
You
head.
have to check the BP archives, I guess.
That's around that, man.
Jesus. I really like. I would bet my fucking life on it. Like. Now I'm fucking lost.
I've seen there were singles and pictures and stuff. I don't think there was an actual come on stage one. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I gotta quit drinking.
Well, they burn like a Wicker Man thing in the video for Wicker Man, don't they? Isn't there some kind of fire thing going on?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I mean, there's not an actual thing in the concert.
No.
No, I don't remember them burning. I don't know.
No Wicker Man.
Sorry,
no
my
Wicker
bad.
Man.
I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
I do think...
this is my first show. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
That's all right. It just gives us something else for us to make fun of you about.
Yeah. Remember the time you thought Wicker Man walking across the stage?
And you had beer with us in the crowd?
He had beer.
And it was August 13th, 2000, the year that we saw that show, by the way.
Oh, my God.
And but it was great. And the DVD came out in it didn't come out for 2 more years, which was kind of surprising. But it took such a long time to come out. But I mean, it was great, and I think it was a great album to come back to, and I think it was just a phenomenal tour to come back to. And when you say like Iron Maiden played everywhere on that tour, hey, they friggin' played in Scranton, Pennsylvania, so they fucking played everywhere.
And I think the Rock in Rio crowd set the bar for how the concert goers going to see Iron Maiden should act, because that was the most energetic crowd.
Yeah, I need the chanting and
ever
stuff.
seen
Oh,
in
I mean,
any
just
show.
like phenomenal, just amazing.
Like that's got to be like a real big adrenaline rush for like Bruce coming back to this band and playing this literal sea of people.
Yeah,
and like
250,000
everybody's singing.
people.
Not only are they singing the lyrics, they're singing along to the riffs, and like that's insane. Like Fear of the Dark, like they're singing along as they're playing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
The chanting is.
But you never see him record in the United States.
Listen, do you think that some crowd in Homedale, New Jersey, is going to be as energetic as those people down in Brazil?
BC was.
Because I mean, and you got to think we as Americans are spoiled for one thing, because like everybody always plays here, but like South America, they may not get Iron Maiden again for another like 10 years.
I think that was the first time that they played there. That's like when Rush did Rush in Rio. That was the first time that they ever played.
But they don't get the shows.
No, there's men breaking down and crying.
Yeah,
I mean, because
when
they
never
were thought they'd see Iron
when
Maiden.
they did the Flight 666. We'll talk about that later, but I just wanted to throw this out there real quick. The one guy, he fucking quit his job, and he lived like 3 countries away. He quit his job so he can go see Iron Maiden in Paraguay or some fucking thing.
Wow.
But I mean, that's the
why didn't you quit your job?
What's out there?
It gets close sometimes.
Go to Rio.
It crosses my mind sometimes.
Go get a house in Rio. We're coming.
Yeah. So it comes out in 2000. So 2003, we have the follow up to Brave New World, Dance of Death, and that came out. When did that come out? September 4th, 2003. I remember I was working that day, and
September 8th, the United States.
September 8th. Okay.
A lot of these albums, it was weird. Like, in certain countries, it'd be this date and this date. It always seems like the United States was last, but I wonder why.
Yeah, because I was working that day. BC was going down to pick it up, so I had him pick me up a copy and drop it off at the firehouse. So the first time I listened to that was at work, in between calls. And it sucked, too, because you can't really throw the headphones on at the firehouse, so you just kind of listening to it, But then when I got home the next day, I was like, whoa, like, fucking excellent album. What do you guys think?
I think this is the album that realized the potential of having 3 guitarists. Like Brave New World, I don't think they quite knew.
They didn't really capitalize on it.
How to make
How to really
But like
make it
this one, you have everybody doing like a different. Like I think Dance of Death, the title track, is probably the best indicator of that. Where you have like the acoustic guitar, and then you have the electric doubling it, and then you have like the like going over, and like they meld so well together. One thing that I really thought was amazing was in Gates of Tomorrow, the riff under the solo is really, really good. And it's something I never noticed before on listening the first time, but they try some new things with this album. Like Journeyman, like how it's all acoustic.
Yeah.
Like I think that's the only time they've ever done that.
It was the first ever, yes.
Like that's crazy. Although this is the worst album cover.
I think the album cover is just sucks ass.
And the artist wanted his name taken off of the
because it wasn't finished.
They picked the non-finished version, and he's like, I don't want to be associated with this.
Needed more boobs.
Like it's
they
just
block
like
all the boobs out.
It's
BC.
literally the worst.
That's what I mean. Need more.
Eddie looks great. Eddie looks good as
yeah, but the rest of it.
I think even if they just left Eddie on there with that floor, it would have been better than all the cartoon shit around there.
They did for one release of it or something. They had
maybe
like,
for one of the
Maybe
singles.
one of the singles.
It was like just Eddie. Yeah, that's the thing. Like
Yeah.
That looks cool. Like it's
were
Eddie with
right
the
on top
floor
of
and then
big
like
shit
some
tonight.
shadows.
I'd say
behind
send
it.
that to me, BC, but you probably have no idea how to fucking do that.
You're asking.
You're lucky you found that.
I'll look for that, and
Just-
Dylan will look for that actually, and he'll post it.
When you pull up the album and click on the album, then it comes up all different ones.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, like
You're asking way too much for
I think the songs in this album are great.
it. Yeah,
like there's not a bad song on there. I'm not a giant fan of the lyrics for New Frontier because it's kind of Nico spouting a little bit of his religious.
Right, because that's the only song
That's the only song that he wrote lyrics.
he wrote. Actual lyrics of the whole
Well, like Passion
Iron Maiden
cool.
catalog.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Montsegur is awesome.
I think out of these albums we're going to talk about tonight, Rainmaker is my most favorite song,
That's good.
and it's probably the fucking shortest.
Yeah, 3:48.
Why can't this be like a fucking 9-minute song? Like that song's so awesome and it's over like that.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that song.
That's a staple of a good song. It leaves you wanting more.
True.
That
And then
is-
I also love like in the middle of Dance of Death, it speeds up. After every solo, it speeds up more and more and more.
It's a
and more.
building song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Rainmaker. I love that Rainmaker tune.
Passchendaele to me is the tunic. Just
That is really
this whole fucking album
Yeah.
is great. I mean, like when you first, you had Brave New World, then this came out. You're like, and to me, they just keep going, going up.
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic album. Wildest Dreams, I hate. I fucking hate that song. Wow. I don't know why. It's one of the very few Iron Maiden songs that I just don't like. I put that album on.
So-
if I'm gonna listen to it all the way through, I just go right to Rainmaker.
So if you were to do your stupid number ranking thing, where you add up the numbers, this would
bring it down a little bit. This would bring it down a little bit. Maybe I'll do that. I should have thought about that. But I do like New Frontier though. I think it's cool. It's a really cool song. I enjoy
I like
it.
the music.
Passchendaele, like you said, BC,
Yeah.
it's great. You could actually picture that World War I in the trenches kind of warfare, listening to that song, and I think it's great. And Face in the Sand is actually the only song that Nico McBrain ever used a double bass pedal on.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
I did not know that.
and that's really cool.
I think Maine is at their best. when it's
Yeah,
telling, like, a
and like
story.
absolutely. Maiden, they're just a great, very visual band in their lyrics. Like even No More Lies is just like that when that chorus kicks in. Some songs like the choruses are like they're okay, like they're usually sometimes like the weakest part of a song.
Yeah.
But like No More Lies, like that is just, and the tempo picks up when the chorus comes on. It's great. And like Dylan said, I couldn't agree more. Dance of Death, I think, is one of the best Iron Maiden songs, and I absolutely love the friggin' solo in that song. There's and actually on this album, you could listen to that with the headphones on, and you could actually if you're a Maiden fan and listened to them for years, you could tell which guy is playing which part of the song.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And Yannick's guitar solo part in Dance of Death is just fucking phenomenal. It's he's like, I like it too that they're three very distinct lead guitar players.
I was just gonna say they
You
all
know,
have their own little.
like Adrian Smith is very exacting. Dave Murray is just like really just like quick but like melodic, and Yannick Gears is just like fingers all over the place. Like if you even watch him play guitar, although Yannick Gears, I'm not a big fan of his marching and kicking and shit on stage. He kind of looks like
You
a
don't
fucking
like
goof.
that he fights Eddie?
That I do like. That is cool. But like his marching and stuff like that, it kind of gets a little annoying. But if you watch him play on the videos they have, it doesn't even look like he's fucking playing. Like he's one of those guys that is just fluid. It's just like butter playing.
Yeah.
I just think it's a great album. And Journeyman, like it's just such a different song for Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
But
See,
there's also a version of that somewhere floating around there other than playing it electric.
Oh, really? Huh.
Because that's how it was actually even written. But then they decide, I don't know how the decision was made to make it into an acoustic song.
Like I think the best album closers are either like bombastic, like showstoppers, where you put all you have into the song, or it's a reflective piece that helps you like unwind from the album and reflect on what you've just listened to. And I think Journeyman is the latter of those two. It's a reflective song. It kind of it's like a digest, like you're like, oh, I'm processing what I just listened to. Like this is like this epic album. It's like it's ending on this like cool down almost,
Right.
but in a good way. It's not. I don't think it fails in what it's trying to attempt to do.
Yeah. Did you guys see the I think it's the Death on the Road documentary that came with this? Did you?
I watched it when it first came
Yeah.
out, but I haven't checked it out.
It was odd because that they were saying that Shirley brought them in and they were doing certain parts together, like a lot
Like
of
a
times.
collaboration.
Yeah, they weren't. So it was like a new thing for them doing this album that
great.
they're not
and
used to.
It's cool too. And real quick, I forgot to mention that they did do a mini tour in between the Brave New World tour and the Dance of Death. I think it's when they put the Edward the Great album out. BC and I actually went to see them. We saw them at Madison Square Garden with Dio and Motorhead. And it was funny because we were talking about it. We went to New York for the day, walked around, went to a bunch of places and stuff. Then we ate at this one bar. Was it Mustang Sally's or something like that? Because it actually was the same place that we went the last time we saw them. When you were with us, Dylan.
Yeah.
And so we were just walking around. We were by the garden, so we go in this place. We have lunch there. What?
Was that we ate them, but we go into another bar and it was just like Maiden people.
It was the same bar.
Was it?
We came back to it.
Okay.
We came back to it later, and it was all Iron Maiden people. They're playing Maiden videos on there and
Videos,
everything. Yeah.
Soccer jerseys on it.
Yeah.
It was just
I mean, it was a great show. And that was April 30th, 2003. We saw that show. And I caught a drumstick from Simon Wright and Motorhead that day. One of the few times we got to see Motorhead. Was very fucking cool. All right, sorry about that. Back to Dance of Death. They didn't really play bigger venues on that tour for some reason. They played smaller venues because when they played in New York, they played at Hammerstein Ballroom.
And they actually
They canceled one of the shows. I guess the one show that they played, they cut short because someone spilled a beer on the mixing board or whatever, and it got all fucked up, and they shortened the show, and then they canceled the next one.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah. So they didn't play. They didn't do an extensive tour. They did a lot of shit in a lot of shows in Europe and stuff like that. A couple in South America, but like they only played. Actually, the only two cities they played in the United States is New York and Los Angeles. And they were smaller venues, so I don't know if it was sales down or whatever.
I guess,
but it was.
I think it's because the United States sucks for live shows, especially for bands like Maiden, Saxon.
Yeah, especially you see the stage they built for this.
Yeah, they're not going to come over here and play for a half-empty place because, I don't know. there's so many things to go through my mind.
But that was back then. Not now they're selling out wherever they play.
Yeah.
Even though they don't play as many shows, but they.
You can't because I don't know. I just don't think ticket sales in the United States and concert. We can go on a whole nother episode about this. It's ridiculous. I think. You go to buy a ticket, it's sold out before you even okay, tickets on sale at 10 o'clock, 10:02. You can't get a ticket because they're all gone. How the fuck do you sell that many tickets in 2 minutes? All the scalpers get them, and then
all the scalpers get them, and these ticket brokers and everything. Right. It's crazy. Like you are right. That could be a whole another episode. But I mean, they had a great set list. They put out another live album for that one, Death on the Road. They played my worst song ever, Wildest Dreams. But they Wrathchild, and then and my second favorite, my second least favorite Iron Maiden song, Can I Play With Madness, another song that I fucking hate. They played that on there, but Dance of Death, BC's favorite song, Rainmaker, and they busted back out Lord of the Flies from the Blaze Bayley era. Which to hear, I love to hear Bruce sing those songs, because he makes them so much better. And even like
the way they should have been saying
the Rock and Reel, him singing "Sign of the Cross" is just absolutely amazing. And actually, just to jump back to that song real quick, that's a song that the three guitar players really shines on Rock and Rio. "Sign of the Cross." I could just listen to that song like 20 times in a row. And they even did Journeyman live. Mm-hmm. Which is kind of cool if you watch the DVD. But I remember, though, and I think Iron Maiden owes me, and they should actually find some way to reimburse me, because when I picked up that DVD, it would start playing, I don't even know what the hell song it would start playing, but it would skip like 3 songs. Like there was 3 songs on there I literally could not watch. It would start on one song and then get in a little ways, and then it would just fucking skip to the next thing, and it was like not like the DVD was scratched, because it was the very first time I pulled it out of the friggin' wrapper and put that on, and I was pissed because I think Lord of the Flies was one of the songs that I couldn't fucking watch because it's fucking skipped. And then they did come out with something. They said that it's fucked up, but there was no we'll give you a new one or anything like that. If you want the updated version, the one that actually works, you have to fucking buy another one. So I said, fuck you, I'm not buying another one. So he didn't fucking
Nothing is bitter or anything.
Pissed me off. Very pissed me off. And they get done with that. Boom. Right back at you. 2006. Seems like they've been like on a 2 or 3 year kind of thing here. Matter of Life and Death, which they did something which some people hated, some people loved. I was one of the ones that loved it. Matter of Life and Death, they played the whole album live. But once we'll talk about the album a little bit here. And thoughts on the album, fellas?
Awesome album cover.
Yeah,
probably one of the in my opinion, the best ones we're going to talk about tonight.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was done by Tim
he's
Bradstreet.
a comic book guy.
Yeah, he did Hellblazer, which is John Constantine, and really good. And he also did Punisher, which everybody knows at this point. But definitely a good pick for the album cover. But I have to say that one of my favorite Maiden songs of all time is on this album, and it's Brighter Than 1,000 Suns.
Yes.
I love that song so much.
That song's amazing. There's actually there's a version of them doing that live in the Abbey Road Studios.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
yeah, that's Brighter Than 1,000 that he gets. It's odd for Bruce when he sings. It seems like he gets like he's angry for some reason. Like I think it's the second verse, because I was listening to it the other day with my headphones on. I'm like, wow. Like he starts, and then the second verse, he just seems like he gets so passionate or angry, and he just like he really belts out that whole section of words. I'm like, wow.
And it works for the song because it's it's about the creation of the atomic bomb and all of the destruction that came along with that.
Right.
Anger's not a bad thing.
Well, that's true.
That's BC's whole life is based on that.
But like I think this is the album to play in its entirety, besides the classics and besides I think Book of Souls. But like I don't think there's a bad song in this lineup.
No.
They're long,
No.
sure.
The only song I don't really care for too much is These Colors Don't Run.
I like it.
Really?
It's good. I don't know. It's a little too rah-rah, I think, maybe. I don't know. But it's like The Longest Day.
It's great.
Someone pieced together a video from Saving Private Ryan to this song, and it's absolutely fucking amazing. Phenomenal. It's like they could have played this song
in the movie.
And had no dialogue or nothing else in there. You've seen it, right, BC?
Yep.
It's fucking amazing. Just seriously, check it out.
I love the song.
It's a great song, and it's and you can really. I mean, Dylan touched on it before. Just their storytelling. They put you right there. You know, they're talking about them in the boats and they're throwing up and everything. It's great, and then it builds up and they're getting on the beach, and then the guns. I mean, it's just amazing. It's an amazing, amazing song. And the reincarnation of Benjamin Brieg. I have no idea what the fuck that song is about. It's like
about the reincarnation.
But it supposedly has some kind of meaning that they don't say, which I don't know. You know what the point of that really is. I don't know. But for the greater good of God, that's okay. That one. I did see that concert live, and I loved it. Some people were like, "What the fuck?" But I thought it was fantastic. The Lord of Light, really good. The Legacy, that is a very, very underrated Iron Maiden song.
Yeah,
that is a great closer. And I actually the sound on this album is just phenomenal. I love it. If you're a Maiden fan out there and you really haven't checked this album out, throw them headphones on.
And like you said, this is the third one with Bruce back and that. Yeah. And to me, it just keeps, like you said.
Yeah.
When you think, okay, they can't get better than this.
They're really gelling as a band. They're
really
even
better. Yeah. And better. It's like, where's it going to end? Hopefully they don't. But
they didn't master it either.
No.
I think it sounds amazing.
It does. It's a fantastic sounding album, and it's kick-ass. And like I said before, I did see this album live. I saw the concert. I went with my one buddy, and then a friend of his went down, and it was kind of cool because we stayed outside and had a couple of beverages, and we missed, I think, both my Valentine opened up, and we missed those guys. So we were sitting there in our seats, and we had really good seats. We were up on the side, pretty close to the stage, and so you get talking with people around you and everything like that. And there was this really, really good-looking woman that was standing in front of us, and she was from Sweden. And it's funny because my one buddy, like, God, I love him to death, but he always seems to do something that is like fucked up.
Here we go.
And so he was sitting in between the three of us, and we're talking to this girl. Just, no one's trying to pick her up. It's just, we're just bullshitting about Iron Maiden and everything like that. And she's telling us that she flew from Sweden to we were at the Meadowlands in New Jersey. She flew from Sweden to see Iron Maiden. So we were, talking about, her country and stuff like that. And so we're sitting back in the seats, and all of a sudden my buddy leans up and he says, "Excuse me." And I tapped the other guy. I said, "Watch, he's going to do something fucking stupid here."
Here we go.
He goes, "What?" I said, "Watch." So he says to the girl, he says, "Excuse me." And she goes, "Yes." He goes, "I just got to tell you, you have a nice ass." And we're like, "Holy fuck!" And she's like, "Excuse me?" And he's like, your rear end, your backside, it's really nice." She goes, "That is so fucking rude." And boom, she sat down, didn't turn around, talk to us for the rest of the night. And I said, "See," he goes, "How did you know that?" I said, "That's from years of experience." And then I'm like, "What the fuck is the matter with you? Like, we're here talking to this nice person, and you have to." Oh my God, he just totally fucked it up. I was like, "What the fuck?" But we did. They came out. They played the whole album. They played like 5 other songs. They did like "Number of the Beast," "Hallowed Be Thy Name." I forget what else they played. But they did. They played that whole album. They played 5 other songs. "Run to the Hills," maybe. I forget. I'll have to look up and see what they played. But it was a great show. Fantastic album. I think I still have my shirt around somewhere. I'm sure it probably shrunk in the wash.
Yeah.
But we saw that in October 13th, 2006 at the Meadowlands, and it was a great, just an excellent show. Good time. What do you think, fellas?
Yeah, this is a great album. Especially, it's really well taken by the Maiden fans. It seems like everywhere you read, it's a top 5, top 3 of the greatest Iron Maiden albums, and that's coming from fans. And so you think of all these albums, their 14th album, and they're saying, so what kick-ass music they're making all the way through to their 14th album.
Mm-hmm. I mean, to me, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and the sound. I mean, just when you think, I don't know, just
they're really coming into their own.
The 3 guitars just make a total difference, I think.
This is a top 5 Maiden album for me. I love this album. I wish I could have seen it live in its entirety, and I just I don't understand when fans get pissed off when bands play an album in their it's the
why
tour,
BC why
because they want to see the fucking hits.
There you go.
The tour is to support the album, so
exactly.
why wouldn't they? If it's as good an album as A Matter of Life and Death is, why wouldn't they play it live?
We live in a bad country for that, because I'm sure
there were people. There seriously were people what the fuck, but if you looked into it at all, we knew when we were going to that show that they were going to do the whole album. And I was holy. And there was, even the girl that was in front of us, she was excited to see it until my buddy pissed her off. But all the other people we were talking to around us, we were like, this is going to be cool. And a couple were like, what are you talking about? We're like, well, they're going to do the whole album. What album? Number of the Beast? No, not Number of the Beast. They're doing their new album. Oh, they have a new album? Are you fucking kidding me?
There's nothing wrong with Number of the Beast, but
no, I know.
It would be cool if they did that.
It would be cool, absolutely. I mean, I would rather them see Peace of Mind, but that's a whole nother.
So the real fans knew what was coming. The want to hear the hits fans are. Right. Oh, they're just gonna play one album.
Yeah,
and that's.
But it was fantastic. I can't say enough of how great that show was and the album, and it was cool. The only thing, like I said, Lord of Light was a little trudging towards the end, but I mean it was great. I was really glad to have it, and I know we haven't done this in the last couple shows, so we are going to come back this week with a nice hidden gem for you guys, and we are going to let Dylan go first.
My hidden gem is a song off of Queen Wright's covers album, Take Cover, from 2007. It's the song Synchronicity 2, originally by The Police. I really love this version of the song. I like the original version, but I like the spin that Queensryche does. And you wouldn't think Jeff Tate's voice would work as a parallel to Sting's, but it does really well. You wouldn't think Queensryche would cover a Police song, because it's not really their...
It's a humiliating kick in the crotch.
Yeah, it's not really their type of music, but it's a really cool version of it.
It's a great version. Actually, I know I have that. It's on Take Covers, the album,
Take Cover,
correct?
Yeah, 2007.
And it's great, good pick. I mean, there's actually, if I make a list like a mix and I get to that album for some reason, I'll put that and Neon Nights from that.
I also like the version of Welcome to the Machine by Pink Floyd.
Yeah, that's not bad. But good pick. All right, BC, what do you got for me, my friend?
I got the band Lillian X. I mean,
Lillian X.
Back in the day, I mean, they came out and then they got lost and when everything went to shit.
I like her.
And then
which one's Lillian?
Here's a band when they just kept plugging along. I mean, granted, right now, currently, the only original guy left is Steve Blaze, which he started the band, and came out with a bunch of albums throughout the last few years, like Water Rising, Deep Red Shadows, The Days Before Tomorrow, which I've been listening to lately, and to me it's phenomenal if you really sit down and listen to it. And then the one I'm going to get blamed for here, One Night in Temple, which is a live acoustic.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to call BC out because he told me not to lease. I asked him how the new stuff was, and he told me it sucked. So
it's definitely an acoustic thing, because I know you don't like acoustic, so that's why I said you're not going to like it.
He thought that hidden gem meant hidden from you.
Oh, okay.
This is hidden from you.
I'll check them. I'll check the newer stuff out. I will. New vocalist is good.
Yes, they went through two or three guys, right? But this guy's been with them for the last 2 albums. So.
All right, I will absolutely check them out. Bannon.
Check it out.
All right, we're almost falling in the timeline here for the topic we're on tonight. My hidden gem is a song off of Steve Harris's solo album, British Lion. It was released in September of 2012. The song is "This Is My God." They did a video. The song and the album is actually mixed by Kevin Shirley, who has been doing the last couple Maiden albums that we're talking about tonight. So he brought Kevin along with him to do a solo album. There's a young kid named David Hawkins on guitar. Incredible guitar player. Really, really good. Very underrated album. I'm not sure if anybody out there knew this was out. I'm sure you guys knew. But
yeah, it's out.
Yeah.
They're playing on the Monsters Rock cruise this year.
British Lion?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Have they done anything since 2012?
They played some shows.
Right, nothing released and
No,
released
nothing
anything.
Else. No, that's the only.
No, see, now I learned something. Out of my gem, I learned something.
And,
I thought they were
and if anybody
actually
out
completely
there,
done.
Yeah, if anybody out there, I mean, pick it up. It's a good album.
Yeah.
But if you're expecting Iron Maiden,
Definitely
it
not.
is not
Be
Iron
disappointed.
Maiden.
No. Again, something else.
It's good though, but it's good. But you
can't-
cannot think Iron Maiden listening to that album.
You cannot think anything Iron Maiden.
Musically,
Because
unbelievable.
it is not that. Definitely not good. That is a good pick. Really good album. And the song is very good too. We'll post that. My pick is I'm going to stick with the Iron Maiden vibe also, and I'm going to pick an album from a song from an Alice Cooper tribute album called Humanary Stew. It has Bruce Dickinson and Adrian Smith playing on Black Widow. Fucking excellent. And Bruce even does the vocal intro that Vincent Price does on the Alice Cooper album. It's just great. And the guitar solos in that song is just like it's tear your head off.
That's a great album.
It is, because even like the original version of it, you could hear that it has like it really, really wants to be a hard and heavy song, but it's like 70s Alice Cooper stuff, and it doesn't quite make it. But this is definitely a metal version of that song, and Bruce's vocals are fucking phenomenal on it.
Like the chorus definitely seems like he makes it into almost a Maiden chorus. Like
Yeah.
it
He
sounds,
makes the song his own,
It
yeah.
sounds like it could be like a Maiden B-side out there if you didn't know it was an Alice Cooper song. Like it's cool.
Oh, absolutely. BC, you've heard it before, right?
Yes. I mean, I think that, not to get off the whole album is very good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great tribute album. Yeah, if you guys pick it up, it's Alice Cooper tribute. It's called Humanary Stew. Vince Neil does Cold Ethel on that. I think Roger Daltrey sings No More Mr. Nice Guy. Joe Elliott sings a song on there. It's really good.
Good.
And actually, I think Dio sings Welcome to My Nightmare, and Steve Lukather from Toto is a fucking phenomenal guitar player. Plays on Welcome to My Nightmare, and is just a kick-ass fucking album. It's the Alice Cooper songs played how you really want to hear them. So definitely check that out. If nothing else, just check the song out, but do yourself a favor if you like Alice Cooper and you want to hear his songs pretty much metalized or played in a harder rock vein. Definitely pick that up. It's a very good listen. And we're gonna dive back into the Maiden. So after the Matter of Life and Death tour, they decided they put out another Greatest Hits album, and then they did the Somewhere Back in Time tour that spawned the Flight 666 album and DVD. And on the album DVD, they pretty much did one song from different countries and everything like that, and it showed them packing the plane and unpacking the plane and playing the shows and everything. And go ahead.
I thought that was so cool. The DVD of it, how each song was in a different country and showing some of the culture and the people and
yeah, and just like and that's the one that I said before. That they talked to the guy. Quit his job. And there's people crying on there.
Breaking
down.
down.
The one country, there's the Iron Maiden. He's like a priest, and he's
Iron Maiden
he's
church.
Tattoos from like his neck down. Iron Maiden.
His own Iron Maiden church.
Yeah.
But here's,
crazy.
just that made you really sit back and say, look at the impact that Iron Maiden has on people around the world.
Yeah.
We live in our own world, but around the world, the globe, like
Right.
everywhere
Yeah,
they go,
they are
it's-
definitely a global.
in some of the places
phenomenon.
they're playing are like third world countries. They're
Yeah.
remember that one? I don't know where it was.
They couldn't get like enough generators or
They
something.
put
from the
carpets.
play.
They were putting carpets over the dirt. Remember?
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
Yeah,
check that out.
it's just amazing. And the one place they played, they were worried about the stage falling down on them or something. It was all this rickety third world stuff. They're the one country looked like they were literally playing in the middle of a fucking jungle.
Yeah.
So keep bitching, people out there for the United States. You could be living in a jungle and not seeing Iron Maiden for the next 20 years.
That's right. BC and I got to see them on that tour. We saw them in Homedale, New Jersey in June of 2008. Great show. It was the first time that I ever got to see them play Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner live. And I got to admit, I might have teared up a little bit. It was just like, holy fuck, I'm actually getting to see them play this song live. It was absolutely an amazing, amazing show and tour. What do you think, BC?
Phenomenal tour. I mean, to me, I don't know. Iron Maiden can't do no wrong. I mean, they can do a disco album. I still like it. You heard it here first, people.
Wow.
Now they probably will, because
it's such a timely genre for them to dip into.
I want to see Iron Maiden cover some Neil Diamond.
Well, they cover Jethro Tull. It's pretty much the same fucking thing. So
Jethro Tull sucks.
I know, I hate them. But one thing they did that I was actually glad to see too, and I think it is one of the most fucking cranking Iron Maiden songs out there. Heaven Can Wait. Listen to the solos in that song, unbelievable. And that's the one, I always wanted to be one of those guys that comes up on the stage and does the whoa, whoa. Because like 50 people come out on stage and they sing that part with the band. I want to be one of those guys. I just want to be that. I just want to get up there and fucking rock the fuck out with Maiden. So that's on my bucket
So if anybody out there has some connection with Iron Maiden, please write Steve at potterthanhellpodcast.com. Maybe we can get him on stage.
Yeah, great show. And they played the Clairvoyant. They played Moonchild and Clairvoyant. Moonchild is a great song too. And actually, after that concert, after seeing them do that, because they pretty much relied on the '80s stuff for Maiden. I think it was all '80s stuff. Now that I look at the list here, I actually delved into Seventh Son of a Seventh Son a little more. That was one of my least. Now it's moved up in the rankings a little bit now. I think after seeing those songs. Still not. Can I Play with Madness though, no. BB? I like the part where it picks up tempo, but I hate the chorus. I think it sucks.
One of the best single covers though.
That is cool with the fist going through the head. Definitely. Yeah.
That's like my first child, because that's where I.
That's where I
found. That's where I started. That's where I found them. So
can I play with matches so I can burn the studio down when
I play this song. Yeah. So I mean, great show, and it like I said, we got Flight 66 out of the deal. They were the first band to fly their own plane and put everything up together.
That is cool
on the plane, and take their tour with them.
How many bands can say that?
No, none.
Fucking phenomenal. And your lead singer's flying the plane.
Exactly.
I'm sure it cut down a little bit on the partying for Bruce, but
it's okay.
I can't party too much anyways because he has to keep his voice good.
That's right.
That's true too. And then they go back into the studio.
You want him to turn into Vince Neil?
Yeah, no shit. Mail it in. Sorry. So they go back in the studio, and they come out with and actually they return to the Compass Point studio in the Bahamas, which is where they recorded "Peace of Mind," their masterpiece of all time. And Power Slave they recorded there also. So they said when they went back there, they said like everything was exactly the same in the place. There was like a broken shutter leaning against the wall that was there in like 1983, 84. It was still fucking there.
That's weird.
Wow.
Like, clean the place up. What the fuck?
That's cool though.
We're coming. Clean it up.
Clean it up, damn it.
Final Frontier. Good album. We were discussing the album cover. I'm not a huge fan of the cover's cool, but I don't care for the Eddie too much. He's too, what do we say, too Predator-ish.
Too, Predator, I would say.
I mean, it's cool though. I mean, it gives you the final thing.
The album cover is cool. It's They got away from Eddie, I thought. Not that you want to see the same thing over and over, but it totally lost all elements of Eddie, in my opinion.
Yeah,
made me nervous about the album. I thought that maybe they went a different direction. I got real nervous.
They kind of did.
They did. This is a pretty progressive sounding album. Yeah. A lot of longer songs on it. Like the shortest song on there is like 4.5 minutes.
Yeah, 4:30.
And but it's a good album. And I gotta say, when the first time I listened to this, I was like, I don't really care for it too much. And I kind of listened to it once or twice, and it didn't really resonate with me. And I was like, all right, whatever. And then Dylan and I went to see Rush at Hershey Arena one night, and we were coming home, and it was foggy as fuck out. I mean, it sucked driving home and that stuff.
And of course I was asleep.
As I say, Dylan was asleep after like fucking 5 minutes.
Passed
in the
out
car.
drunk.
So I figured, you know what, So I threw that CD in, and just totally listened to it. And by the time we got back, I listened to the album almost twice because it was past the, it's a 76-minute album, so it was only a 2-hour ride. So I got to listen to it like 1.5 times on the way home, and I actually loved it.
He shook me awake, and I'm like, well, what's wrong? What's going on? He's like, I'm starting to like the album. I'm like, oh good. And so we're back to sleep. Yeah, the album's okay. It's not my favorite Maiden album. I was a little put off with the first song, how like it starts off with like the echoey.
It's a weird start to an album.
I hate that start, but then Final Frontier is a great, like the solos in Final Frontier are some of my favorite Maiden solos. The album's good. It's not my favorite though. It's not my favorite.
Yeah, I mean, when like you said, we saw the first album cover, you're like kind of weird to throw it on, and it was different. I was like, oh boy. And then, like you said, it comes on again. At first, I admit, at first it was a little bit like, but over time, and it just, if you listen to it, it grows on you.
Yeah.
It does. It really does.
It really
That's
does.
exactly what I was going to say.
Just like anything, you got to sit down and really devote time to it.
Gotta give it some time.
Yeah. I mean,
get those headphones out, people.
Right. But it's funny with the Satellite 15, the Final Frontier song. He says Final Frontier at least 20 times. I'm like,
that's a bit much.
Okay, how about now? Nope. No.
BB,
Oh, we were done. Nope.
BB,
Nope.
do you remember what the album title is now?
Yeah, right. That's true.
Yeah, I love it. And actually, not for nothing, they actually won a Grammy that year for the song El Dorado. And BC and I saw them. Actually, BC, BB, and myself saw them on this tour in Homedale, New Jersey. And it was great. It was excellent. But when we saw them Maiden for that show, the album wasn't out yet, and they were already touring for it. And the only song that they did from Final Frontier was El Dorado. So, because we saw them on July 30th, 2010, the album didn't come out until the 17th, August 17th of that year. So we didn't really, and they, when they eventually were finished with that tour, they put out the In Vivo album and DVD, and there were more songs in that set list from the Final Frontier than we got to see. But we got to see other songs, though. We got to see,
Right.
we got to see a different set list than with more older songs or whatever. So I mean, you could take that for good or bad, whether you wanted to see the the older stuff or
No matter
or,
what the Death Haters
yeah.
would love it.
Oh, absolutely.
If I can remember correctly, they did do a nice array of songs from their catalog. It would probably, that show would probably be a good show for a fan who wanted to see the hits. Because if I can remember, there was a lot of like popular songs they played that day.
They did The Wicker Man, Ghost of the Navigator, Rothschild, El Dorado, Dance of Death, Reincarnation of Benjamin Breed, These Colors Don't Run, Blood Brothers, Wildest Dreams, No More Lies, Brave New World, Fear of the Dark, Iron Maiden, Number the Beast, Hallowed Be the Name, and Running Free, according to this set list.
That's a great
And I'm
set
glad
list.
I got to see Ghost of the Navigator again
Right.
too, because that was just fucking excellent. And it's weird because I don't really remember them doing Benjamin Breed, but that was the set list that they did do. I do remember they did Wildest Dreams, and I hated it. But I mean, it was a great show. And Homedale, if you guys live in the northeastern mid-Atlantic area, I don't know, whatever the hell you want to call it around here, if you do have a chance and it's within traveling distance, you go see a show at Homedale, New Jersey, go, because it is a great venue to see a show. Even the it's an amphitheater type place where the seats are undercover, and then there's a lawn. But even in the seats, they're more of a they're like not a slope. They're more of you're more of a theater type thing where you could have a 6'3" guy standing in front of you, and he's not blocking your view.
it's more like the themes of Room.
Huge. Great place to see a show, and it was an excellent tour. and then they put out the DVD for that. But when they put out the DVD, they used the set list from that they did once the album was out. And I do have to say, I'll give my 2 cents about the album. I kind of skipped it. I really enjoy the album, and I'm gonna say, "When the Wild Wind Blows" is probably in my top 3 Iron Maiden songs.
It's good.
I absolutely love that fucking song, and whenever I make any kind of playlist or whatever, that song is always on there. And actually, I put it on there from the album, and I put it on there from in vivo, so I can hopefully get it twice in a listen. I mean, I like the song that much. I do the same with Dance of Death. But even the other songs that they do live, The Talisman, Coming Home, really good songs. They are. It's a good solid album. I'm kind of like Dylan. It's not my favorite, but it did grow on me a ton more than when it first came out. It's not one of them albums that hits you right away.
No,
you need to absorb it a little bit.
It's like a couple listen album, I think.
What's that thing I have on my iPad? Apple Music.
Apple Music, yeah.
I didn't know they were all remastered.
Yeah, they're all remastered.
And I listened to this to remastered. I don't know if it just has so much more. I mean, the man who became.
Jesus, it's only 8 years old. They're remastering already.
All of them are.
Well, they want you to buy it again.
I think it was like the whole thing. Where
I want to say from when
catalog
Bruce came back, not the last few, but those
the early 2000s.
Those first four or so.
Yeah,
I think they're all remastered.
Well, nobody's opening.
Well, no, you don't.
We didn't think you cared. We didn't think you cared enough for us to ask you.
Nobody told me you wanted to know.
Yeah, so I mean, great album. In retrospect, you just need to let it grow on you a little bit. And
a lot of people thought that was going to be the last album. There was
a
lot of rumors going on.
The Final Frontier, and they kind of, in the average Maiden fan, which I consider myself one of them, you had to think,
oh
shit. But actually, the very first thing I thought was, fucking Keel has an album named The Final Frontier. And a song. Like that was the very first thing I thought. I'm like, why? And it's not like, I'm not saying Keel are like Iron Maiden or Iron Maiden's like Keel, but they're both, hard rock / metal, whatever. But like, I don't like that.
I mean, there's a lot of songs that have.
I remember,
similar
like you
names.
said.
There's a lot of live.
Well, not the
wires.
same exact though.
Live wire
for an album name. I'm not a fan of that. That's my main bitch about it.
I'm sure that
maybe
Bruce
that's why.
Dickinson,
Maybe that's why I didn't really listen
Bruce,
to it much.
I'm sure Bruce wasn't like, "Hey, could you guys just check to make sure there's no other band that has?"
But I'm surprised their record
Final
company
Frontier.
didn't come out and say
I mean,
that.
Keel's not a giant band.
I
They're
know,
not in,
but
like,
still,
the public
they could have
zeitgeist
satisfied
like
me.
Iron Maiden
They
Like,
could have
Iron
at least
Maiden's-
called me.
Yeah, but
is. Much bigger.
remember this-
I see both sides. Like they're not going to go out and name an Appetite for Destruction.
or Shot at the Devil or something.
Right.
Yeah, it's Keel as opposed
Striper
to like
might.
a bigger
Yes.
bigger band.
But I remember that there was a lot of talk that they're going to retire, blah blah blah.
That's why it's called the Final.
Yeah.
Final,
Frontier.
the
And I think
final
that was just them fucking with us.
Yeah, well, they even said that
Yeah.
that was the case.
Yeah. So, they wrap that up. They throw in Vivo out there. So what they've been doing is they've been having an album and a tour, and then they'll do a greatest hits or something, and then a tour on that, and then go back to those songs, and then we're back right into that again. They did the Made in England tour, which they fashioned after the Seventh Son of a Seventh Son tour.
See?
And they did kind of a similar stage and a similar stage set list, but I mean, even the Made in England, the only thing that I didn't like was I was really hoping that they would when they did the original album, it wasn't out. I'm sorry, the original DVD, or actually when it came out, it was VHS when it came out. It came out in 1989. They did Still Life on there from Peace of Mind, but they didn't do that when they toured with it, which I was a little disappointed that they didn't do that. But it was cool. And BC and I saw that tour. We saw it down in Camden, New Jersey. We went down with some friends, and
hottest day.
It was a hot ass day. It was 103 degrees when we went into the venue. We went with our two past guests, Jim Polkowski and R.A. Furiosi, that were here for one of our shows that we did at one of our earlier episodes, and one of BC's old companions. And Jim and R.A.
Many of the ladies.
Jim and R.A. went in. They had first to the gate
Gator barrier or something.
First
like
to the
that.
barrier tickets or something like that. So we just stayed in the parking lot and drank. But it was so fucking hot in that parking lot. We literally had to sit on the pavement in the shade of BC's truck because it was just a boiling day out. I think we drank a case of Pounders in like an hour between the three of us. And it was just, you just sweated it out.
You were drinking beer like breathing air. It was crazy.
And, I remember being,
any other concert.
And Alice Cooper
was really bad.
Yeah, Alice Cooper was the opening band, which was phenomenal. And we
Exactly.
were right up front. And that's I told it before when the guy, when they cut Alice's head off and he drank the blood, he spit it out. Something went in my mouth. I want to fucking throw. I want to throw up right now. Fucking talking about it.
I can't
Gross.
even imagine Alice as an opening act.
It was cool. He played for maybe an hour and 10 minutes. He did the full Alice show. But it was light out too. It wasn't like a light show. It was just the whole stage show like during the day.
See, Alice, I think
it was very cool.
Because it's an outdoor place.
I need to see it. Like,
Orianthi was the
an
guitar
adult
player from
thing.
then.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that Alice works in the daytime. Like, doing Alice
it was
Cooper
great.
stuff.
It was different. It was different.
It was different, but it was still good. It was
It's still good. I mean,
Like, I picture, like darkness and like the fog rolling over,
There was still that, but it was just light out.
That's what.
I know, but it was good though.
down where we were, you would have to. You look back, you knew you were outside.
Yeah.
I mean, down where we were.
Yeah, we were in the pit.
We were in, yeah.
I mean, we paid quite a bit for our tickets, but it was worth every penny.
That was
and
great.
actually,
That was great.
when Maiden played, I caught a drumstick from Nico, which was fucking awesome.
You're like the drumstick.
I know. It was like, and they were
He's
both
only
at
caught two.
Maiden
Let's not
shows.
give
I know,
him the-
but they were both at Maiden shows though. The one was from Motorhead at a Maiden show, and the other one was from Iron Maiden.
Too bad Madison Square Garden. That's a drumstick. They threw it in a boomerang over to where we were.
No, yeah, they would have had to launch it out of a cannon to hit where we sat in the garden.
Oh god.
We'll talk about that when we get to Book of Souls. But it was a cool tour. We had a good time that day. Like I said, it was 103 degrees when we went in. We were sweating our balls off. And actually got to a point where right before they did the first encore, I had to go buy I think a $7 bottle of water because I was so fucking thirsty. I was ready to pass out. That's how.
But
hot
after
it was.
the show, it cooled down to 94 degrees. So
Yeah,
it was all good.
Oh, so you're all
yeah,
right.
so it was good. It was good. Yeah. And it was funny because we were supposed to have a training class for a structural burn class the next day, and it was supposed to be just as hot the next day, and they canceled. And I was like, thank God, because I wouldn't have been able to make it. I was just shot, and it wasn't even from the alcohol, because that we just sweated that out of us while we were there. Just the whole next day, you were just so dehydrated because you were just
Rocking out the Maiden.
rocking out the Maiden and 100-degree weather.
Well, alcohol does dehydrate you.
It does, but that was long gone though. By the time we were done.
Dr. Oz says there's no proof to that.
All right.
Yes,
All right.
yes, Dr. Oz.
Dr. Oz, baby.
And BC watches him every third day.
Every third day I watch Dr. Oz.
All right, and so now they get back into it. Time for another album. They get in the studios and they work on Book of Souls, which ends up being a double studio album, which is fucking amazing. It's like 92 minutes long. It came out in September of 2015. It was supposed to come out earlier in the year, but it was discovered Bruce had a tumor in his throat, I believe it was. And he had to go through recovery. That they right then everything was. Actually recorded that album when he was sick, and yes, BB they did bring back the old logo, and but like
BB wants it.
Here's Bruce having a little throat trouble, but you can't tell on the album at all.
Yeah.
It's an amazing album, front to back.
Yeah, but right before they came out with this, they released Speed of Light as that little single.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. I mean, I'm just so hungry for Maiden. But looking back at it, that's probably my least favorite.
It's a weak. It's compared to the rest of the album. It's a weak.
Compared to the rest of the
I don't
album,
know
I think
if
this
it
makes sense.
quite goes with the rest of the album.
That too, yes.
As much as it could.
To me, it was like, oh, Speed Light, yeah, New Maiden's coming out. Went to Best Buy and you got like the.
It's like it's
single,
kind of a
T-shirt.
pop, it's kind of a popish song.
Very
I think,
for Maiden.
For Maiden.
It's definitely popish, radio-ish.
But I mean, if another band put out, it would be like maybe the most metal song they ever put out. But for Maiden, it was
no, yeah,
typical early in the album, if not a first song in the early thing. Adrian Smith rocker though, decent song. But the opening track of Eternity Should Fail is phenomenal. And actually, that song was written. Bruce wrote that, and that was supposed to be for one of his solo albums. And they liked it so much they put it on there. And I think it's a great. And actually, that's 2 albums in a row that they didn't really have a fast, right out of the gate rocker starting out. But it works. I think it sets the atmospheric tone for the album.
Yeah,
and,
much better than Satellite.
Yeah, and at the end of the song, you have "Hello, my name is Necropolis." That is so cool. I think that is fucking excellent. And if you listen out with the headphones on, the echo in that little speech part is just like mind blowing. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, when I first heard it, Disc 1, like the Final Frontier, it had to grow on me. Disc 2, it seemed like it jumped out and it grabbed me a little bit more. Especially like Shadows of the Valley, and then the Empire of the Clouds.
That's
like it just that, and there's a small. I think Tears of a Clown is a little bit slower, but for some reason that disc grabbed me. I had more interest of the disc 2 than disc 1, but like I said, it made me like a Final Frontier thing. It's got to grow on me.
Seriously, other than the Speed of Light, it's phenomenal.
Yeah, when we we'll get into the tour in a little bit. Speed of Light, we just talked about. The Great Unknown is very good. I love the red and the black. Yes, Dylan, I did say the red and the black because I'm actually reading it.
I was going to say, you were looking at it.
Yeah.
So.
I usually say the black and the red. But that song is great. I love the melody in that song is I don't know. It's just one of them that gets to me. I fucking absolutely love it.
Is that when you're drinking their beer, the red and the black?
That was horrible. That was the worst Iron Maiden beer. Oh my god, I couldn't even finish it.
Great song, horrible beer.
Fucking hated it. No,
horrible
it
beer.
wasn't as bad as the 666 beer.
666 was very hoppy.
That was
666 was
Yeah,
the hoppiest out of all.
666 is hot.
The red and the black I was able to choke down.
It's not bad. It's not one of their best.
Yeah.
The next beer is going to be Tears of a Cloud.
I just don't think there's bad beer.
Yeah. BC never met a beer he didn't like. Well, actually, you did.
It's going to be Eddie in a clown mask with a little tear coming down.
We'll still drink it.
Yeah. And why I mentioned the little necropolis thing at the end of If Eternity Should Fail, I always thought that on the Songbook of Souls, which is the title track, I thought that they should have either did that little speech at the end of the title track or had him do another speech at the end of that song, because I think those two songs in my mind are like brother and sister. Those two songs, I really think you could put them back to back and they would work perfectly. But I always picture it, and actually the first time I listened to it and I was reading going through the lyrics with it, and when they were coming to the end of it, and I'm thinking, wow, this is going to be great, because the Necropolis dude's going to fucking speak again at the end of this song, and he doesn't. I think they missed out on an opportunity. I think that would have been a perfect song to put that back in there and just kind of close out that first side with, beginning with them and then ending that side with them. And like you said, second album, disc 2, record 2, right, whatever you want to call it, is great. Death or Glory, about World War I pilots.
There's a nice swing to it.
Shadows of the Valley, listen to that song. There's like a 3-part guitar harmony in that. There's like a solo, and then there's another layer of guitar playing, and then there's another melody underneath that. It's just, it's not long. It's towards the end of the song, but it sounds really good.
I'm going to ask you guys, since you're all here.
No.
17.
Just one time.
Don't be so negative.
Oh.
She's only 17?
Yeah.
Okay. Now she's 48. Yeah. Anyways, every time I listen to these albums, I don't know, is it just me? since Bruce came back, all these albums, every time you throw it on, you find something different every time you listen to it.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
I constantly keep finding it.
Absolutely. And the thing is, too, and we get back to what I talked about in our early episodes, you don't listen to music the way you used to. Back in the day, we would have listened to this album till we knew every lyric, every riff, every fucking thing about
Lock
it.
yourself in your room and play it over and over.
But now there's so much stuff out there that you don't get that opportunity. And you're absolutely right. Then when you do listen to it, you're like, wow, I didn't notice that before.
No.
Or, that I didn't hear that, that way the first time. Really good point.
I gotta listen to some just to refresh myself with this stuff.
Yeah.
Ooh, damn.
Right. Because I don't know what it is. I don't know which album it is. I wish I wrote it down because I read something today that some of them, they were using that drop D tuning to get a different sound.
It was If Eternity Should Fail.
That was If Eternity Should Fail.
Okay.
Yep, I actually have that written down.
The first collective use of drop D tuning.
Right.
Yeah.
And you can definitely tell the difference in that song.
Yeah.
I love this. This is probably my favorite new Maiden album. Like from front to back, I think it's just amazing. The Red and the Black is one of my favorite Maiden songs. First time I heard that, there was this huge smile that was on my face because I was like, this is Maiden.
This is epic Maiden right here.
This is what I come to the show to see.
To see.
And then like Empire of the Clouds, like this is made by a man, Bruce Dickinson, who had no idea how to play piano, had never played piano before in his life, and created these piano melodies and riffs and wrote this song entirely by himself. They said that he spent the majority of the recording of this album creating this song.
Yeah,
and
in a room by himself with just him and the piano. Yeah,
it shows. It's probably their most. I would call it their magnum opus. I think it's a culmination.
And people in
Maiden.
24 countries around the world agree with you because it was #1 in 24 countries, and it tied in the United States at #4 with the Final Frontier.
And it's an 18-minute song.
It is.
That's not single length.
No.
Yeah.
There's a picture disc that's like a 45.
Record deal.
Record day.
Yeah.
Actually, I have that. Dylan picked it up for me. I didn't realize it was like $45 or whatever.
It was.
But it's
bucks.
cool though. I'll have to post a picture of it.
It's like
it's very cool. And actually, I didn't even open it yet.
The blimp is going down, and the Mayan eddies and the clouds behind it. Like
It's really
Yeah,
cool.
but that song really shows you what a different range each guy in the band has.
Yeah.
It's like a total it's like a hero sandwich. It's got everything in that song what they're totally capable
But
of.
when you listen to that song, it takes you through a roller coaster of emotions. They're excited, they're getting it ready to go, and then
they do the SOS drum beat, and it's like
right.
the
and it
for
starts
SOS,
to build,
so
and then it
cool.
really builds when the shit starts to go wrong.
It's funny how
and
you
then
say
it's
that.
mellow at
Yeah.
the end where
It's like-
everyone's dead and everything. It's just
like-
crazy how that song just captures the thing.
And when I realized that, like it was SOS and Morse code, my mind was blown. I'm like, this is such a deep detail that like not some people wouldn't notice. It's
Right.
like when Rush does YYZ, they're actually doing the
That
the code for
the airport in Toronto.
In the beginning. And it's so cool, like that level of detail and like thought they put in, like the transition into this disaster. We're gonna send out an SOS with our music. It's just so cool. I love that song.
Yeah, between that and just like the historical lyrics they use, like battle.
I never heard of the Zeppelin accident. I never heard of that before.
Because you only hear the
you only hear the Hindenburg.
Right.
I never heard about that. And I actually, like a fucking dork that I am, went and I looked it up, and it's a thing.
But like the best Maiden songs make you do that. Like Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner made you go out and get Samuel Taylor.
No, you know what? And the thing about that is, that year we were going over that in school,
And I bet
and me and my buddy Dugo, we were the only ones in the class that got 100 on that. I mean, it was
Yes.
like the only time we ever got fucking 100
they
in that
have
class.
word for word passages.
But like
from it.
we literally, our teacher was like, he thought we were cheating. And he's like, how do you guys know so much about this? I said, well, because it's an Iron Maiden song. He's like, what? I'm like, it's an Iron Maiden song.
Where the fuck's Iron Maiden?
Where the fuck's Iron Maiden? And he thought we were bullshitting him, so I brought him in. I brought the album in, and I showed him the lyrics, and it has the actual, like there's like 2 different parts that are passages from the actual epic poem. And he's like, holy crap! All right, guys, good job. But.
Who's this Bruce Dickinson?
Yeah. Bruce Dickinson. Same guy.
Bruce Dickinson.
Like Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner makes you want to go read that poem. To Tame the Land makes you want to go read Dune. Passchendaele makes you want to go learn about this epic battle. Like Maiden is a band that makes you want to know more.
A history.
They
There's
get
like
you
a
excited
history
about
book.
something that might be seen as boring. And
They get
Empire of the Clouds
exactly. They
is
get
great.
excited about something that you would look at any other form and say, "What do I want to read about that for?"
Yeah. They're just. I think Empire of the Clouds is if somebody was to go to me, Iron Maiden, what do they sound like? That might be a song that I might give to them if they really see now that.
Well, I would let him listen to the Trooper.
Yeah, I would
but
say
if someone said to me, "What's Iron Maiden's most epic song?" That would
definitely
be it.
Like
that would definitely be it.
This is like the final.
You have 18 minutes to sit down and listen?
Yeah.
The final test.
Yeah. And so, boom, Book of Souls tour. We actually went to see it, BC, myself, and Dylan, along with RA and Jim and Jen, actually. Everyone that was at that show has been on this podcast. And hello, guys. And
Hello, Fettel.
Hello,
yeah.
Hello, Fettel.
So we enrolled our buddy Frank to drive us there, which was a great idea. BC and I almost got run over on the one of the parkways in New York because we had to jump out to take a piss. We couldn't hold it any longer. Right in the middle of traffic, we're out on the side of the road.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yep. So we go. We had shitty seats, and I have to say, I hope the Iron Maiden fan club doesn't sue me, but they can't sue you if it's true. BC, both of us, we joined the Iron Maiden fan club because it was.
Because you always got the pre-sale.
Said that you got the pre-sale tickets. You had your choice at tickets before anybody else. We still sat in the fucking rafters, and I refreshed that, and that was the best we could do. I was fucking pissed.
I mean, seriously, like I could hand on the ceiling.
Yeah, it was still a great show.
It was
we were too much on the side.
We were on the right. We were on stage right, way a little too far. So and you couldn't get the full glory.
Yeah,
of the
but it was.
setup,
it was still a great show. Started off with the "If Eternity Should Fail," "Speed of Light," BC's favorite song there. But they busted out songs like "Children of the Damned." They did "Power Slave."
That was great.
And it was actually the last tour that they did. "Hallowed Be Thy Name," because then they ended up with that lawsuit, whatever. So at least we got to see that. They did "Blood Brothers" as an encore, which I think just totally did not fit for an encore.
Took the momentum.
Oh, we're all like, whatever, but
and the show we saw, they did
Tears of a Clown.
They did not
instead of The Great Unknown, which The Great Unknown ended up on the live album for it, which I would have definitely rather Tears of the Clown. Like BB mentioned, he said it's maybe not as
tribute to Robin Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
But listen to that song. The solos in that song are just absolutely phenomenal. But even though we had shitty seats, it was still a great show. The stage show was excellent. The Eddie came out. The whole gamut. And the Red and the Black, to see them do that song was just like phenomenal. Like you said, they came out with the album after that, the album and the DVD. Dylan, what did you think about the show?
The show, I was really happy to finally see Maiden. It was a really amazing time, and I'm glad that I saw them on this tour because this is like I said, one of my favorite albums. And it's cool that we did get a CD of this tour, so it was almost like a commemoration. But like
souvenir.
Like I said in an early episode, I don't like how they do the intro of "If Eternity Should Fail."
It's not mixed well.
It's not mixed well.
Either do it or don't.
Yeah, but I thought that the show they were firing on all cylinders. Bruce especially, since having had surgery done with his throat, which is the most important part for a singer.
Yeah. That's his instrument.
And he's still running around the stage. He still has that high energy and the showmanship that from Bruce Dickinson you've heard about.
Trademark Bruce.
And the band is just still amazing after all these years.
Yes, I mean, the live chapter album, again, there's no such thing as bad live Maiden. When we went to see the show, other than the seats being shit, it's Maiden live. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's funny how they actually, in my opinion, they actually build their stage around Bruce, because you have to have that horseshoe so he can run around and get on top and run back around. Like, he runs more than a guy playing basketball in the NBA these days. He just runs around like a crazy horse. But you know what'd be awesome? As we were sitting here talking, the businessman popped in my head. Instead of having Coors Light and Heineken, they should just have like Trooper, Red and the Black, 666, and all the beer distributors in the venue.
I always like a businessman that talks beer.
See, I'm telling you,
the businessman wants his money. You ain't gonna give it back.
He wants some money.
Yeah, I think it was great, and actually we have a picture of all of us, myself, BC, Dylan, Jen, Jim, and RA, in the bar we went to, and I have to say, when we saw Maiden the first time in Homedale, myself and BC, I bought the event shirt. It has, I'll have to take a picture of it. It has Eddie on the Brooklyn Bridge, I think. And so we go in this bar, and this guy comes up to me and says, "Hey, awesome shirt." He says, "I'll give you $200 for it right now." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "The shirt you have on." I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "I'll pay you $200 for it." I'm like,
No.
No, you're not buying the shirt off my back.
And then I had RA buy me the event shirt for this show, and some guy offered it. They sold out really quickly.
Yeah,
right
BC and I weren't able to get one.
And some guy offered him $100 on the spot for it. Thankfully, he said no.
That's
that
great.
I
mean, to me, that's like, wow. Like you said, $200. Like, give me
freaking
$200.
shirt, yeah.
In it, like he had it in a bag, brand new. He had it on him. Give me $200.
You just go to a Maiden show shirtless.
Yeah.
What happened to your shirt? I sold it for $200.
That's why I wear T-shirts underneath anymore. So if someone wants to buy the shirt off my back, I'll still have a fucking shirt to wear.
Yeah.
But you know what? Not to get off topic here tonight, but talking about $200 for a shirt. Look online for original shirts.
Old concert shirts.
That
Like
are
any band.
worn out, going for $200-$300.
It's the nostalgia
Right.
factor.
Like the night that we did the Dio show and Chris brought his
That's
His
shirt
shirt.
in. Yeah, it looks like a Dio onesie.
yeah, that would go for $200 easily.
That's
Bam,
insane.
$200.
And that would fit a 10-year-old nowadays.
Yeah, well.
Oh,
A
small 10-year-old.
Back then it was a large.
Back then it was a large. Oh,
Yeah.
good.
But one thing I was kind of surprised about, and we'll wrap it up in a minute here. So they put out the Book of Souls live chapter CD. There's no video for this one. I wonder why.
I think they released it on demand, like you can buy it on iTunes or whatever. I don't think they put a physical DVD out, but I do think there is video from it. Let me just double check that I'm saying this.
That's cool.
And if this isn't right, I'll just edit it out because
Yeah, he edits his shit out, but he'll leave all mine.
I leave in quite a bit of my mess
Yeah,
ups.
put it out. I mean,
The small.
it's
the small
easier
number
to
there
throw
are.
it in a CD player or on your
Souls Live Show.
than playing it.
Right. But once again, I want the physical copy in my hand. Even if it's a DVD.
I think you're. I think
And BB's thinking,
you're going down that
I just
road.
want to download it.
No,
So it looks
I
like-
think in a couple more years, I think soon that's all you're gonna get.
So it
What,
looks
download
like
it?
it was streamed on YouTube
And vinyl.
It was streamed on YouTube,
Yeah.
and it's also available for digital purchase alongside its audio calendar port with no physical edition announced. So you can buy a video of it, but it's like on iTunes or YouTube.
I have to agree with Steve. I'm a in my hands kind of
He's
guy.
a physical guy. Yeah.
You thought that was only.
So I
one
wasn't
person.
wrong.
But I wonder.
I
wonder. Is it the first setlist version or is it the second?
I'm
setlist
assuming
version?
it's the second, since that's probably where.
Well,
they
I would
ripped the
hope that
audio
maybe
from.
they would have a bonus track at least and throw "Tears of a Clown" on there since it's the
They
song
might
that
they might not have recorded
They
it.
switched. They record all the shows though.
Yeah, but it might not be.
But
up
most
to
of the venues have their own. Well, they have to because there's always video screens on all the shows they go to.
Yeah, but it's like sometimes they don't keep that for. It's sometimes just streamed. because you could just stream it. So they might not have recorded it.
Yeah.
Because like if they kept video for every single, their archives would be gigantic.
Yeah, but digital shit you can.
Yeah,
put
but
a whole
but
fucking
you have to
tour on a
figure
thumb drive.
That like one of those cameras streaming like a 3-hour show, that's like you're getting up to the hundreds of gigabytes.
Well, that's why these guys get paid millions of dollars. They can watch all that shit. But the thing is too, if they record all those shows, Steve Harris says, you know what, I had an off show, in Philadelphia, boom. So they won't even look at that show. So it's not like they have to go through everything. So, Steve Harris, give me a call. Let me know how you guys do that shit.
Tell us how you do it.
All right, we'll wrap up. We'll do once around the table. You guys, everybody out there, let us know what you think. Check out the what we'll call Millennial Maiden. Everything after 2000. What do you guys think about Bruce's return? Was he able to fill Blaze Bayley's shoes after he left the band?
I don't know if he managed it.
Let us know. Were you sad to see the return of Adrian Smith? Let us know. You guys check it out. Let us know what your favorite Iron Maiden album is after the year 2000. And let's go around the table real quick, and then we'll go around the table one more time for goodbyes. BB, favorite Millennial Maiden album?
Probably Dance of Death, because that Rainmaker song, like I said before, even though this is probably the shortest song out of all the freaking songs we talked about tonight, it still kicks ass for being 3 minutes and 46 seconds.
It's also a cool single cover.
Yeah.
The close-up of Eddie's face.
I just wish that song was longer. BC.
I'm going to say Matter of Life and Death, but I like all of them. I mean,
don't be wishy-washy, BC.
I don't want to sound like, I love all the, but I love Maiden. But I love when Bruce and Adrian came back, and what really, like I said before, that they did throw Janet Gears to the side.
Yeah.
To me, that
I think that's
that showed respect. Which Iron Maiden is a top class act, so not surprisingly.
I think the best thing that ever happened to Maiden was having 3 guitarists. I think that cemented
I love it.
their sound.
Like you said, the first one was a little. They didn't know what to do.
Like I said,
it was new territory.
Listen to Live at Donington, and then listen to Book of Souls live, or Dance of Death or Rock in Rio.
I think if I'm gonna say my feet, it's a tie between Book of Souls and Matter of Life and Death. If I had to edge one out over the other, it would be Book of Souls, with Matter of Life and Death being a very, very close second. I just think those are 2 amazing albums front to back. I mean, Speed of Lights, but they make up for it with the other songs.
I know. We've always said this since the beginning of time. A band's not going to put out their best song as a single, especially before the album comes out.
Yeah, it's definitely the most single-friendly song on the album, so I can
for Maiden, yes.
Yeah, so I can see.
And
why
plus,
they
it's short too.
That's what I mean.
Short, yeah.
That's my qualifier for Maiden. Like, it's a short, radio-friendly song, like Wicker Man or Wildest Dreams. It might not be the best on the album, but it's the most.
When that came out, Best Buy, it came out with a T-shirt.
Really?
Yeah. So of course, hey, let's throw this out. Everybody's going to buy it.
Yeah.
Just like a single and a T-shirt.
Yeah.
And then the album's going to come out, and the album's going to be like, whoa. Yeah. I mean, they're not going to release the best thing.
I agree. I'm going to say my favorite one is Peace of Mind. Okay.
No.
I'm gonna go.
They remastered.
I think
that
I'm
in
gonna go.
97,
I think I'm gonna go dance. I think I'm gonna go Dance of Death, edging out Final Frontier just by a hair.
Really?
Wow.
Even though what I may do is I may go back and do my mathematical formulation.
Oh boy!
Get
the fuck out of here, guys!
And I'll see if it actually comes out. I should have did that. Stephen Michael, you'll be so glad to hear that I get to do this. Maybe if I get a chance this weekend, I will. I'll do these, and maybe Dylan and I will do a special little math episode for me on the end, ranking these albums. I think that's a good idea, Dylan. I think we should do that. at our home studio. We'll do that. I'll do the math, and then we'll do maybe like a 5-minute thing, and then I could say them, and then you could ridicule me, and then we could put it out there, and then Steve and Michael could ridicule me some more.
Be like a ridicule sandwich.
But it's a good
when
system.
He calls it out in a birthday wish.
It's a good system. It's proven to be correct.
Taking those math classes.
Over pie.
All right, let's go around the
Tomei
table.
would be
We'll
proud.
say our goodbyes and our good nights. BB, go ahead.
Once again, I love this podcast because it makes you do your homework. I've said this time and time again. Because honestly, I don't think right now where my musical head is, I would sit down and listen to all these Iron Maiden albums, and you learn how great these albums actually are, and then you pick up on shit you missed when you used to listen to them.
Like I said, every time you listen to it, you find something new, something you didn't hear the time before, and especially with Iron Maiden. I don't know. How can you go wrong?
I think these albums are definitely can definitely be held up next to Peace of Mind or Number of the
Underrated.
Beast in terms of quality. Do I think Final Frontier is the second best album out of this batch? Absolutely not. But
We'll see.
I think that these albums are showing a band that's still in their prime, despite having been going for these many years. I would definitely recommend, if you haven't listened to New Maiden, if you've only been, I'm only listening to the first couple albums and I'll stop after Power Slave. Listen to these albums. They're solid. Some of their best work. I mean, Empire of the Clouds is probably their most technically amazing song in their catalog. Yep. So you need
that we'll probably never see live.
No, and that's disappointing. But I can understand the logistics of not doing that live. But
that should be their encore song.
Yeah, it's an amazing.
And just cut it down a little bit. 15 minutes, one song.
Play the whole fucking thing.
Right. I just want to say, excellent idea for a show, Dylan. I really enjoyed going back and listening to this stuff, and I will occasionally go back and a night where I'm not listening to anything for the show, I'll just throw some Maiden on. Could be new, could be old, but it is really cool listening to all these albums again, checking them out. And once I do my ranking, we'll come out with a final rank for all these albums. But one thing that I want to throw out there is, and what I would really, really like to see, and I want Kiss to do this also. Rush put out a great example for these bands to do an evening with. I mean, I realize these guys put on a dynamic show, and it's a physically demanding show. Do what Rush did. Come out. Play for an hour and 20 minutes.
Take a little break.
Play for an hour. Have an intermission. Take a break. Come back. Play. Now, in a situation like that, you can do Empire of the Clouds. So you could do like I said, a first set, take an intermission, and come back with boom, just Bruce on a piano in the middle of the fucking stage, starting out Empire of the Clouds, and start out your second set with that, and then do maybe 5 or 6 songs after that. Don't have opening bands. Just do an evening with. Start out the night like I always like to see bands play during the daylight. Start out the show like that, like festival style. No opening bands. Fuck that shit. Have Iron Maiden come out. And just do an evening with Iron Maiden. Do an evening with Kiss.
And here's a band that can do it, Iron Maiden. They have
absolutely.
so much material.
Absolutely.
Right.
See, Maiden.
You could do an Iron Maiden weekend. They have so much material.
See, there's a difference between Kiss and Maiden in terms of Maiden. I think it's logistics, whereas Kiss, it's laziness.
Yeah, I mean, they're
Sorry, Paul.
significantly older too. I mean, you'd never see Kiss do that.
No.
But I mean, it would be cool. I'm just throwing it out there. But I would. Maiden is the one band I would really like to see an evening with.
Yeah.
And I think it would be great. And
I mean, the band that opened for them, Dream Theater, has done evening withs. We saw one of those.
Yeah. And I just want to thank everybody out there for listening. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for everybody out there that interacts with us and shares us stuff on Facebook. We have a lot of cool stuff coming up, a lot of cool episodes, and look for us the next couple weeks. Hope you guys enjoyed the Deep Purple show. last week. It was a lot of fun doing. I know it was a little longer of an episode than we're used to, but the conversation was so good, and having Ed and Chris here, and I want to thank them guys personally on this episode for coming in with us and sharing their Deep Purple adventures with us, and we will do an additional part or parts to that topic as we go down the road. And I want to thank everybody again. Interact with us. Check us out. Share us with your friends. Share our posts. Share our episodes. Tell your friends about us. If you have a friend that's a metalhead out there, there's still a lot of people out there that have no idea what the fuck a podcast is. Tell them what it is, and have us pop their podcast cherry.
Whoa!
All right.
Dylan's shaking his head over there.
Let's keep it ready.
This shit's just coming out of me tonight, you guys.
We got to put that on the back of our shirt.
Did pop
Popping
my eardrum.
Popping podcast cherries.
Podcast cherries. I like it.
So, check us out, you guys. Share us with your friends, and we will definitely see you next time, and there will be a next time.